So, here's the thing. As a capital G gamer, I really try and seek out as many games as possible. And no, I'm not talking about browsing the PlayStation Network or Steam store for the latest and greatest shiny nipple graphics AAA game. I'm talking about smaller and more personal games. Games that were made by a handful of people who were truly passionate about the project they are working on, and are willing to put their heart and soul into it, even if barely anyone gives a fuck. It's really staggering just how many games are made every fucking day, and how many truly fantastic games fall by the wayside because they are way too niche for general audiences. Maybe if you guys weren't fucking cowards, we'd get a Get-A-Roo Man too, you fucking asshole. This is why I try to share games that I find that don't seem to get the recognition I believe they truly deserve. And one of those games we're talking about today is Sayonara Wild Hearts. Sayonara Wild Hearts is, simply put, one of the most gorgeous and engaging experiences I've had playing a game in a long fucking time. And I played Hentai Puzzle, for God's sake! The game is structured as an hour-long interactive music video that has you riding along through a series of scenes, all interconnected through the breathtaking visuals and music. I'm not kidding when I say this is one of my new favorite OSTs I've heard in a long time. Just fucking listen to it, you fucking idiots! Now, at first glance, you might think that this is just another rhythm game that you can add to the pile. You see, the game does have you following songs and performing actions aligning with the music like other rhythm games. However, the context of what you are doing is completely up to the game's mercy. This is where the genius of the game comes from. Just how much variation there is in this fucking game. Like, Jesus Christ! 1 minute you'll be flying through the air collecting hearts, then on a motorcycle chasing another bitch shooting lasers at you, then you'll be drifting in a car like fucking Initial D, piece of shit, and finally having a shmup boss against like a giant 3-headed wolf mecha. I sound like a fucking coke addict, but I'm not making this shit up. This game constantly keeps you on your toes and relentlessly bombards you with new gameplay styles you have to adapt to. I mean shit, there even is an entire segment referencing Res Infinite, one of the coolest rhythm games of all time. It's fucking sick! But the variation by itself isn't what makes the game so engaging. Remember, this is a rhythm game, so the objective is still to follow along with the beat. However, because of the constant changing of gameplay and visuals, you never just get a chance to breathe and follow the beat of the song. I know this sounds kind of weird and ass backwards, but just bear with me. Starting out on a new level can be almost overwhelming. On one level, the game literally turns into a third-person on-rail shooter. I don't blame anyone for being overwhelmed. However, one big thing this game has going for it is its length. The game will only take you around an hour to beat, and that's fucking perfect. For starters, it means that the game doesn't overstay its welcome, but more so than that, it gives you just enough time to adjust to the speed of the game. It absolutely doesn't let up from start to finish, which almost makes your brain adjust to how things work in this universe. You become so accustomed to the visuals and music that you basically are sucked into the game world, only able to focus on getting to the next gameplay change. Here's an example from another game. Any of you guys played Crypt of the Necrodancer? That game is a hard as dick roguelike. That has you perform every single action in that game to a beat. And I mean everything. Movement, killing enemies, buying items from the shop, digging, everything is to the beat of the music. Now just try playing that game for only an hour and then stopping. You'll find yourself doing all your actions in real life onto an imaginary beat. Your brain has become so accustomed to doing everything on the beat of a song that it carries over into real life for a little. That's just how our dumb fucking monkey brains work, I guess. But the same thing goes for Sayonara Wild Hearts. Getting out of a session of this game will make the rest of the world feel almost slowed down. That's because your brain has had just enough time to be accustomed to how the game plays. So by the end of the game, your brain has been trained to do everything the game has to offer. It's a fucking awesome feeling that has been captured here perfectly. And it's all thanks to the game being just long enough to have your brain become completely accustomed to it. Now, if you can't already tell, I fucking love this game. I could talk more about how amazing the story is in this game, gush about the beautiful art style some more, or ejaculate all fluids from my body while talking about this god-tier soundtrack. However, going back to the title of this video, that's not really why I think this game is important. I mean, it's good, damn good in fact, but it's a lot more than just that. It actually has less to do with the actual game, and more so what its existence says about games as a whole. I shit you not, I would have never heard about this game if not for Wooly from Castle Super Beast. He talked about it on one of his podcasts, and it seemed really interesting to me. But after that, I heard no one talk about this game. Just look at how many views this game's trailer has. I mean, it's okay, but it's not enough in my opinion. And then it hit me. Fuck! This game is $15, an hour long, and a rhythm game. No one wants to spend $15 on a game that will last them under a day. But why? Why not? I mean, seriously, these guys poured their heart and soul into making a game this beautiful and fun, yet because of its $15 price tag and length, people just pass it up. I mean, going to the movies, when that wasn't a distant memory, would cost you around the same price to see a movie like the fucking Change Up. And I think this game is a lot more fucking worth than the goddamned Change Up. This game also demonstrates another thing about how we really do live in the best time for video games right now. And I know some of you fat fucking freaks in the audience will say something like, loot boxes and microtransaction and all these $60 games. And my response to that is, stop playing games only released by big budget studios and pay more attention to the little guys. I mean, seriously, I hate how people try and act like we're in a shit time for games when an experience this god tier has just been swept under the radar of most people. Everyone cares about the new Last of Us having Strong Woman, but then skips out on a beautiful experience like this. And I'm not saying this game is for everyone, far from it. However, this game is more of a symbol that actual quality titles that you may not have even heard of are out there and waiting for you to play them. For example, recently I played through a game called Underhero, a short little RPG made in the style of Paper Mario and the Mario and Luigi games. I never heard anyone talk about this game, but I picked it up because it piqued my interest. And I absolutely loved it. It was fun, had a really cute story, and was just an all-around great time. There are people out there making these fantastic fucking games who have the amount of respect and dedication that seems to be missing in a good chunk of these large, big-budget titles. You just need to have the discipline to open your eyes. And I'm not necessarily telling you guys to go out there and buy games just because you want to support them. But there are a lot of games out there you may have never heard of that are exactly for you. You know, the new Paper Mario doesn't have XP and a lot of people are pissed. Go play Bug Fables, an amazing little RPG that no one has been talking about. And that's exactly why I find Sayonara Wild Hearts such an important game to me. It's one of my new favorite games and experiences I've had in a while, and it almost completely swept by me. This game taught me to give the smaller games a chance and to get a little out of my comfort zone when looking for a game. Stop going after those big budget games made by brand names and instead take a chance on the little guys. Because every once in a while, you will get something as special as Sayonara Wild Hearts.